Right now at 5, danger on duty, a deputy-involved shooting in Dania Beach. We take you inside the investigation.
Promising news in the race for a COVID cure. How soon a vaccine could make it to the masses.
Hurricane IOTA, the most powerful storm of the season. Craig Setzer has the latest track and new advisory.
Plus, she is in a league of her own. We're hearing from the Marlins' new GM who just made baseball history.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Carly Barnett in for Lauren Pastrana.
And I'm Elliot Rodriguez. CBS 4 News at 5 starts right now.
This is CBS 4 News at 5.
First at 5, an investigation is underway tonight after Broward County Sheriff's deputies opened fire on a driver, killing him. Chopper 4 was over the scene along Sterling Road just west of I-95 this morning.
Witnesses say the events that led up to the shooting were chaotic. CBS 4's Joan Murray is live near the scene in Dania Beach with the latest on this investigation. Joan.
Well, they just opened up this section of Sterling Road, but CBS 4 News.
Joan, thanks a lot for that. Now to the latest in the coronavirus pandemic. Coronavirus cases are on the rise ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. There were more than 4,600 COVID-19 cases added in the state of Florida, according to the state's health department. But with the grim reality comes a sign of hope, a major development in the race for a coronavirus vaccine.
Moderna says testing shows its vaccine is more than 94% effective against COVID-19. The company plans to apply for emergency use authorization from the government after it gathers more safety data this month. Moderna expects to have 20 million doses ready to ship by the end of 2020 and says it's on track to produce up to 1 billion doses in 2021.
It's very promising. It is really exciting that we are seeing good results in not only the Moderna trial, but also in other vaccine trials.
Clinical trials for that vaccine are happening right here in South Florida. The University of Miami's Miller School of Medicine is one of those sites where Moderna is testing the vaccine.
CBS 4's Peter Dench joins us live right now from the University of Miami Medical Campus with the very latest. Very promising news, Peter.
That's right, Elliot. In fact, hundreds of people are being tested here.
This just in, the U.S. military could be on the verge of a troop drawdown in both Afghanistan and Iraq. According to 2 U.S. officials, the Pentagon has issued a notice to commanders known as a warning order. They say the formal order from President Donald Trump could come as soon as this week. Sources say former Secretary of Defense Mark Esper was pushing back on a premature withdrawal from Afghanistan before he was fired last week. Currently, there are about 4,500 U.S. troops in Afghanistan, about 3,000 in Iraq. Now at 5, we are tracking Hurricane IOTA. The monster Category 5 hurricane is set to strike Central America just 2 weeks after Hurricane Eta.
Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Craig Setzer with the very latest. So late in the month of November, and we're still seeing this, Craig.
Welcome back. New at 5, a South Florida woman was arrested after threatening to shoot Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and the state's 2 U.S. senators. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says 55-year-old Karen Jones posted on Twitter that she was going to shoot Governor DeSantis, Senator Marco Rubio, and Senator Rick Scott. When detectives questioned her about it, she told them it was just a joke. She's charged with 3 counts of written threats to kill or do bodily harm. Now at 5, the Miami Marlins introduced their new general manager today at Marlins Park, and she is like no one else we've seen before. CBS 4's Steve Goldstein has this historic story of the first woman to be named a GM in our 4 major pro sports leagues. Goldie.
Oh, Carly, it is historic, no question about that.
Now at 5:30, cases are on the rise across the country and here in South Florida. The positivity rate and the new cases reported yesterday are the highest since late July. In recent weeks, the number of coronavirus cases has significantly increased across South Florida. And the positivity rate for Broward and Miami-Dade counties is nearing 10%.
Yeah, that's not good news. CBS 4's Brooke Schaefer is at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, where testing is being done.
On Monday morning, the medical team at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens was
CBS 4 News. And speaking of those rising numbers, Walmart is once again keeping tabs on the number of customers in the stores, enforcing capacity limits. America's largest retailer took the action again over the weekend. Back in April, Walmart began capping the number of customers to about 20% of a store's capacity. But for a period of time, Walmart had stopped physically counting, but that will happen again as we get into the busy holiday shopping season. At 5:30, a staggering 82,000 alleged victims have made sexual abuse claims against the Boy Scouts of America ahead of today's deadline to come forward. The victims span generations from ages 9 to 95 years old. The Boy Scouts filed for bankruptcy protection before settling these abuse cases. And CBS News correspondent Errol Barnett has this story of one man who says his nightmare lasted for years.
I was in there 5 minutes before he
Jennifer Lopez was one of the big highlights at last night's People's Choice Awards. J-Lo won the 2020 Icon Award, then summed up the year by saying 2020 was no joke. She says before 2020, artists were caught up with who sold the most records or won the most awards, but this year reinforced what matters the most. She said it is people, and she is so right.
Absolutely.
And she looks great in that red. Did you get that idea of red?
I was channeling J-Lo when I put this on, actually, as I do every day, of course.
I knew that about you. Yes. There are always great videos and stories to see online. Check out more of what's trending on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and cbsmiami.com/webextra.
And it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas in Manhattan. Details of this year's Rockefeller tree up next.
A different Christmas experience in Midtown Manhattan. Beautiful, no less.
You can still see it from afar. That's the good thing.
Absolutely. And from afar, we can see this storm. And Craig Setzer, for the folks in Central America, this hurricane is looking very, very devastating. The holiday season is almost here, so that means it's time for Oprah's Favorite Things.
Entertainment Tonight's Kevin Frazier has the story.
Carly and Elliot, if you're struggling with your holiday shopping, well, look no further than Oprah's Favorite Things. But
more of the day's Hollywood headlines. You can watch Entertainment Tonight at 7:30, right after CBS 4 News at 7. Elliot, I think Fred may need one of those little dog hoodies, don't you think?
He's got all kinds of outfits, but I think pajamas in general for not just dogs, but people are going to be big items this year with so many people working from home.
Hey, exactly. Stay comfortable, might as well.
They're in their PJs all day. That's CBS 4 News at 5:30.
And here's what's next on CBS 4 News at 6. Coronavirus cases are on the rise again, but as concern grows, there's new hope for a vaccine. We're live with the big announcement and the link to the trials here in South Florida.
With the busy travel season almost upon us, what one airline is doing to make sure their passengers are safe during the pandemic.
And a traffic stop leads to deadly gunfire in Dania Beach. We're live on the scene with the latest on this investigation into a deputy-involved shooting. CBS 4 News at 6 starts right now.
This is CBS 4 News at 6.
We are concerned regarding the significant increase that we've seen specific to positivity rates in Miami-Dade.
Miami-Dade School Superintendent Alberto Carvalho right there, among those watching the rising number of COVID cases in South Florida. As cases continue to climb, there could be some hope as a second company with ties to the University of Miami comes forward with a successful COVID-19 vaccine. Good evening, I'm Elliot Rodriguez.
And I'm Carly Barnett in for Lauren Pastrana. The State Health Department just released the latest numbers of new COVID-19 cases. The state of Florida reported more than 4,600 more cases and 41 deaths since yesterday. Nearly 1,500 of those cases are in South Florida. Miami-Dade and Monroe counties report no new deaths, but 5 deaths were reported in Broward. New details at 6 on a traffic stop that turned deadly in Dania Beach earlier today. Now, BSO is investigating the shooting. CBS 4's Joan Murray is live at the scene with the latest on this. Joan.
And Carly, we still have so many questions about this case, but take a look. CBS 4 News.
Joan, thank you for the update. We are tracking the tropics right now. Hurricane IOTA, now a Category 5 storm, is slowly bearing down on Nicaragua tonight. The hurricane expected to bring more devastation to an area hit hard by Hurricane Ada just 2 weeks ago.
CBS 4 Chief Meteorologist Craig Setzer joins us now with the latest on what appears to be the strongest storm of the season. Craig.
Yeah, it's definitely the strongest storm of the season we had.
Thank you. Now at 6, the Miami Marlins make history as the team makes it official today. They have hired Kim Ng as their general manager. She's the first woman to be a GM in America's 4 major sports leagues. CBS 4's Steve Goldstein has the story as Ng spoke today at Marlins Park. Steve.
Well, Carly, it was a historic day as Ng was introduced as the new Marlins GM. CBS 4 Sports.
Steve, thank you. There's more to come on CBS 4 News at 6. With the holiday season right around the corner, what one major airline is doing to make sure traveling during the pandemic is safe.
And Miami International Airport has a new resident. What are Southwest Airlines' new destinations? The details on that after the break. Welcome back. New at 6, rocked hard by the pandemic. The nation's airlines doing their best to convince hesitant passengers to book flights. CBS 4's Hank Tester reports that ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday, one airline demonstrates how they clean their airplanes before passengers board.
Cranking up for the holiday travel at
That's our news for now.
CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell is up next.